Have you ever wanted something so deeply that the absence of it felt like a wound? Have you ever smiled in public but cried the moment you were alone? Have you ever carried a burden so heavy that even prayer felt like your last breath? This is the story of Hannah, not just a woman in the Bible, but a woman whose soul was crushed until heaven answered her tears. Hannah was married. She was loved. Elkanah cared for her. But Hannah lived with a quiet ache because she had no child. And in those days, barrenness was not just pain. It was humiliation. It was women whispering. It was people assuming God had forgotten you. It was waking up every morning with hope and going to bed every night with disappointment. Hannah was breathing, but she was not whole. Elkanah had another wife, Peninnah, and Peninnah had children, many children, but Peninnah did not show mercy. She turned Hannah's emptiness into entertainment. Year after year, she provoked her, mocked her, reminded her, "You are barren, you are incomplete, you are nothing." And Hannah would sit there trying to hold herself together while breaking inside, because some pain is not loud, it is constant. Hannah wept until she could not eat. Food meant nothing because grief had swallowed her appetite. Imagine her nights, lying awake, staring into darkness, hearing silence, where laughter of children should have been, the kind of silence that screams, the kind of emptiness that makes you question, "Lord, do you see me?" Elkanah tried. He held her. He asked, "Hannah, why are you crying? Am I not better to you than 10 sons?" But even love cannot replace a longing that sits in the deepest part of a woman's soul, because Hannah did not just want a child. She wanted purpose. She wanted joy. She wanted to feel remembered every year. They went up to Shiloh to worship. But this time, Hannah wasn't going out of tradition. She was going because she was desperate. When you are drowning, you stop caring who is watching. You just need strength. You just need air. That day, Hannah reached the end of pretending. She walked into the house of God, and something inside her collapsed. Not a neat prayer, not a polished prayer, a shattered prayer. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. Only tears, only trembling, only a soul pouring out. She whispered, "Lord, look at me. Please remember me. Don't let my life pass in emptiness. Give me a son, and I will give him back to you." This was not a prayer. This was a cry from the depths. And then Eli the priest watched her, but he didn't understand. He judged her. He said, "How long will you be drunk?" Imagine a woman pouring out her soul and still being misread. Even in God's house, she was misunderstood. But Hannah answered through tears, "No, my Lord, I am not drunk. I am a woman in deep anguish. I have been pouring out my soul before the Lord." Not wine, sorrow. Then Eli softened. He said, "Go in peace. May the God of Israel grant your request." And something changed, not in her womb yet, but in her spirit. Hannah stood up, still childless, but no longer hopeless. Because sometimes God gives peace before he gives the miracle. And in time, God moved. He remembered Hannah. The woman who felt invisible was invisible no more. She conceived and gave birth to a son. She held him, and every breath of that child said, "Heaven heard me." She named him Samuel because God listened. Her tears were not wasted, but Hannah remembered her vow. When Samuel was still young, she carried him back to Shiloh The child she begged for, she surrendered. She said, "For this child I prayed, and the Lord granted me what I asked. So now, I give him to the Lord." That is faith, not just receiving, but releasing. And Hannah lifted her voice, not in sorrow, but in worship. The woman who once trembled in shame now stood in victory. Because God does not just answer prayers, He rewrites stories. He turns barrenness into joy. He turns tears into testimony. Hannah teaches us, your pain is not invisible. Your tears have a voice. Mockery cannot cancel destiny. And God's silence does not mean God's absence. So if you are waiting, if you are crying, if you feel forgotten, remember Hannah, the woman who broke before God, and heaven answered.